for some people, their industries are so like very, very niched that although you're not going to see things like, oh, there's a notary contract, you have to be creative on landing those things, right? So it's like, you have to look at things like who's using notary services. Well, let me contact the general contractors. Let me contact, these business developers, that have to notarize documents. So it's like other things. Let me contact the Supreme Court, and, when it comes to like childcare and child support and all these other things that you got to notarize documents for people who are getting, evicted out of their homes. You have to notarize that type of legal document. So it's like, you got to know what to look for. But when you don't know what to look for, of course, as an entrepreneur, like you said, how important is it for them, to keep an open mind and follow the money? Because the money is there, right? It's like, because just imagine if you were like, well, I'm just going to stick to notary. And then there's an opportunity for you to move furniture and you're not even paying attention to that. So you just landed a contract on something that you don't even do, right?
Totally different.
Yeah. So I know like, how does that make you feel? Especially knowing that this is your first experience.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Does it make you like, oh my God, I've been sitting on this all this time? Do those thoughts come through your mind?
I felt happy, and all of a sudden I felt stupid. I'm like, oh my God, Marie, why you didn't just keep going? But what I've learned from that as well is it's a NAICS code. Since I already got the award for that NAICS code, I'm just going to keep using it and use the award as my reference on my cover letter. So the other thing I find out that they liked, I'm not sure if that works for everyone, but I put a point of contact, like a project manager, and the project manager's name and how long this work's gonna take. I asked them what's comfortable for the vendor, and they said, oh, we can do this in 2 days. We don't need 30 days. I'm like, okay, so I'll put that on there. So that make it look more attractive.
Yeah.
So I think that's a key. So yeah. So I'll put my award, and then anything that makes it look attractive on the cover letter, put it.
Yeah. And so another one of the things that you touched on was like communicating with these point of contacts and the procurement officers, which is very key. Like I've developed like a whole CRM system and automations for our clients to just continue staying in front of the agencies, because like you said, the fiscal year is ending September 30th, and they have all this money that they have to, pull out. And if they don't, it's like they're going to lose their budget. So if you are top of mind because you're staying in contact with them, that's so easy for them to like, hey, can you give me a quote? Just like they did for you. Like, can you give me a quote? Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying it. I wanted to take some time to invite you to join me in the GovCon Challenge. The GovCon Challenge takes place once a month, where I invite a bunch of entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs to come and have me teach you the 5 things you must do to pre-qualify your business to land lucrative contracts with the government. So join me in the GovCon Challenge. Click on the link in the description. You'll be glad you did. Join as VIP for exclusive behind-the-scenes information, and you could become a part of the top 1% of entrepreneurs across the nation. Now back to the video you were watching. So, and there's so many different things. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was. What when you first signed up, I think you were doing something completely different.
Well, I signed up because I saw your stuff on YouTube regarding notary. So I'm a mobile notary, so I'm a real estate agent and all that. So of course, I don't know what happened after 2021 when COVID happened.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of business when it comes to I'm not talking about government contracts. So
as far as notary, yeah.
Yes, but after that, I'm like, okay, looking for a notary. You can't really find anything about notary. So I just want to say for people to be flexible. So the reason I'm just sticking to the NAICS codes that I have now, which is like transportation, something with logistic, that's what I have. So I'm just gonna keep using that. So don't stay in what you're actually doing. If you're selling weave or whatever it is, don't stay on that. Look for other opportunities. Yeah. Because you're cutting yourself off if you do that.
And it's so key that you say that, because although there are some opportunities, and there actually are opportunities, I think, so there, I was gonna say, I would think Dominica landed her contract. That's who it was. That her notary contract, like, right? Was it like in the pandemic? It was like in the pandemic, or like right after the pandemic hit. So it's like right after the pandemic hit. But there are some, like, for some people, their industries are so like very, very niched that although you're not going to see things like, oh, there's a notary contract, you have to be creative on landing those things, right? So it's like you have to look at things like who's using notary services. Well, let me contact the general contractors. Let me contact, these business developers, that have to notarize documents. So it's like other things. Let me contact the Supreme Court, and, when it comes to like childcare and child support and all these other things that you got to notarize documents for. People who are getting, evicted out of their homes. You have to notarize that type of legal document. So it's like, you got to know what to look for. But when you don't know what to look for, of course, as an entrepreneur, like you said, how important is it for them, to keep an open mind and follow the money? Because the money is there, right? It's like, because just imagine if you were like, well, I'm just going to stick to notary, and then there's an opportunity for you to move furniture, and you're not even paying attention to that. So you just landed a contract on something that you don't even do, right?
Totally different.
So the whole ideal of course, being in business is to make money. So if you can capitalize on opportunities like that, leveraging other people's time, so important. Can you speak to the point, to the fact that like now you're able to, put a plan in place to where basically you're like a broker of contracts. You become a broker of contracts and outsource the work. How would that, like, how does that help you, like, financially, not only financially, but time-wise, as far as time freedom?
Time freedom is good right now. Like I said, I'm a caregiver for my mom, which is, that was just torture. I'm like, oh, I gotta keep her moral up and my moral up. So in order for me to focus, that's what I had. I had the computer. I couldn't go anywhere, just only for her medical appointments. That's just torture. So I had to find something that I'm not just sitting around. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me look at this government contract stuff again.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that, yes, I'm the middleman or worker, as you call it. I don't have to do the work. I don't have to do the work. They just report to me. I report back to the contracting officer. Say, hey, I did tell them that, I'll let them know. Report to them before it happens, during it's going on, and at the end. So just keep them updated. Communication is key. Period.
Yeah.